Welcome to our VR tour of the Golubac Fortress. There it is, standing proud for almost 700 years. This place was a major crossroads for trade and for armies. The fortress was defended and captured time and again, serving as a key strategic stronghold. And now it welcomes visitors from all over the world, sharing its story. In front of you is the park, stretching along the banks of the Danube, right before the fortress. Here, the river narrows, and the current picks up speed. Right here is where the Danube begins to push its way through the Iron Gates Gorge. And what's that across the river? That's already Romania. Back in the 14th century, one of the local rulers decided that this part of the river had to be protected, because the narrowing made it the perfect spot to control the ships passing along the Danube. History doesn't know for sure who started building the Golubac Fortress. It might have been the Serbs or maybe the Hungarians. Power changed hands here a lot back then. See that hill on the opposite bank? There's a fortress over there too. It was built around the same time as Golubac. These two fortresses stood like sentinels, guarding the passage through the Danube. Sometimes they fought with each other. Sometimes they stood together against the Turks. And sometimes they just traded across the river. We're standing on the bridge over the moat, right in front of the main entrance to the Golubac Fortress. Back in the day, moats filled with water were a standard part of fortress defenses. They made life a lot harder for attacking soldiers. To the left of the entrance, you can spot a hexagonal tower, one of the oldest parts of the fortress. That shape is actually quite rare for towers from that period. In places like this, it's interesting to imagine yourself as a traveler or a diplomat arriving back then. What did he see standing right here? How did the guards above look down at him? And how did he start that first conversation? Back then, what would a traveler see upon entering this fortress? At the top sits the central tower and inner courtyard. This is where the garrison lived. There were living quarters, a kitchen, storage rooms, and the commander's chambers. The rooms had wooden ceilings, and the interior walls were covered with plaster. Every fortress had its own water cistern. And here in Golubac, it was carved directly into the rock and filled with rainwater. Let's step inside the hexagonal tower. In earlier times, it was also known as the Italian Tower. Unlike the other towers in Golubac, which are either round or square, this one has a hexagonal shape, with a sharp angle pointing towards the river. That design is typical of late medieval architecture, influenced by Italian fortifications. The sharp angle helps deflect cannonballs and makes it harder to break through the wall. This tower served as a key artillery point guarding the entrance to the gorge and protecting the fortress from river attacks. It was likely built in the second half of the 15th century, during the period of Hungarian rule in this area. What makes it especially interesting is that it's one of the first purpose-built cannon towers in the Balkans. It belongs to that transitional era from medieval to artillery-based fortifications, when cannons and firearms were already playing a decisive role in warfare. Its shape and structure reflect a high level of military engineering and show just how strategically important Golubac was as a border fortress on the Danube. Today, the tower is fully restored, and you can explore its different levels. The lower levels were used to fire at ships moving up the Danube, while the upper floors served as observation points. And just look at this breathtaking view, the Danube on one side and the fortress courtyard on the other. Next to the hexagonal tower, right by the water, there's a stone platform, often called the artillery outpost or the lower battery platform. It's a forward defensive structure, built at water level and attached to the rock at the base of the hexagonal tower. The platform was designed specifically to hold short-range artillery, aimed downstream along the Danube. Its width and layout suggest it could support 2 or 3 small cannons, or hook guns, possibly mounted on rotating stands. This outpost was crucial for targeting ships coming up the Danube from below, vessels that were in the blind spot of the main tower. Together with the hexagonal tower, it created a deadly crossfire zone across the river. And make no mistake, serious battles happened here. In 1428, one of the most famous sieges took place. Hungarian King Sigismund arrived with his army and laid siege to the fortress, which was already under Ottoman control. The assault lasted nearly 3 weeks. In the fighting, Austrian commander Pipo Spano was killed, a major blow for the Hungarian side. In the end, the Ottomans held the fortress. Then came the Hungarians again, then the Ottomans, and so on. On average, Golubac changed hands every 30 to 50 years. Even in the 16th century, when it seemed like the Ottomans were here to stay, there were still attempts to recapture it. During the Austro-Turkish Wars, artillery returned once again. The last military presence was surprisingly recent, in the 19th century. The Ottomans held Golubac until 1867, finally leaving under pressure from Serbian uprisings and diplomacy. And since then, not a single shot fired. Just tourists and pigeons. We're approaching the museum center of the Golubac Fortress. This modern building was constructed as part of the large-scale restoration project, and it blends seamlessly into the historical look of the fortress. It was built using natural stone, with a low, modest profile, so it wouldn't compete with the powerful medieval walls around it. Inside the museum, there's a permanent exhibition dedicated to knights, the Battle of Golubac in 1428, and the Order of the Dragon. You can also see precise replicas of the Miroslav Gospel, a true treasure of Serbian literary and spiritual heritage. The museum is fully modernized, featuring audiovisual installations, detailed models, holograms and films that reveal the hidden secrets of the fortress towers and underground rock tunnels uncovered during the restoration. If you ever find yourself in Serbia, make sure to visit the Golubac Fortress. It's about a 2-hour drive from Belgrade. You can even combine the trip with a visit to another fascinating site just beyond Golubac, Lepenski Vir. That's the place where in the mid-20th century, archaeologists uncovered one of the oldest known European civilizations on the banks of the Danube. Thank you for exploring this amazing place with us. We hope you enjoyed the journey and learned something new along the way. Don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. It really helps the channel and inspires us to keep creating more adventures like this. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming travels. See you in the next one.